As you will already have seen by the title of this video, we got a little something different for you today. Now we have done toy reviews on Blast Process before, not so many just yet, but let's, we can always change that. But yeah, not the usual Parry's pickups. So in a way it is a pickup because I decided to pick up 2 action figures today to review. Well, not specifically with the intention to review, it's the Turtles action figures, as you already know. I've got a soft spot for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was brought up with these guys and I remember them very fondly. I even quite like the new movie, for all its pitfalls. It's great that Turtles are still around. Now, of course, still making Turtles action figures. And the last ones I bought were the original lineup that they released in conjunction with the new animated series. And they were really high quality. The Turtles, the sculpts, they looked incredible. So I got all 4 of the Turtles, and later on down the line I think I picked up the Foot Soldier, and that was it. I felt I needed a baddie for them to fight against. Not that I'm playing with my Turtles toys all day. I also got a Turtle van at a very good discount price. Another thing I got at a very good price were the 2 figures today. In my local supermarket, quickly here in Denmark, they had an offer. 2 figures for 100 kroner, that's 50 kroner each, obviously. It's about 5 each. I thought that was pretty good. These are the Mutations brand, and I'll show you some of the packaging right now. There we go. And the gimmick here is you can mix and match parts. Yeah, it is a gimmick, and everyone's doing it nowadays. There's superheroes, mash-up figures. There's all sorts. The superheroes ones weren't the first. The Star Wars ones, superheroes ones. There's all sorts. Now Turtles have got in on the act. So I'll show you what we got picked up. First we have Shredder. Ooh. I just put him a little bit closer to the camera so you can have a good look at him. Now he comes with a sword, and he also comes with 2 shurikens, which are still in the packaging here. Put one out. Shurikens or throwing stars, ninja stars, whatever you like to call them. Whether or not he can hold one of these, I'm not sure. I think he probably can. Oh wow, there you go. He's got a hand made for it, and you can see the articulation. I think before I show you exactly how this articulates, I'll show you how it's all put together, because every limb on this action figure here is detachable. Like so. Did you see that? Probably not. Do it again. Yeah. Just come off like that. And if I was a kid and I did that, I thought I'd broken it, but no, the intention is you could put other limbs on. So I'm going to take off both the Shredder's arms. I could even take his legs off as well if I wanted. And there you've got Shredder's torso. You can even take his head off. So actually there is a lot of playability in these. It's like those old books where you had the page was split into different sections. You could change the body and the head, and a Lego minifigure, for example. It's a lot like that. So I'm sitting here with a bunch of Shredder parts on my desk, and let's leave like that for the time being while I show you Splinter. Now I bought these 2 figures because I don't have Shredder and Splinter. As I said, I bought the Turtles and the Foot Soldier. To have a good lineup of Turtles figures, I think you need these main characters. Unfortunately, the new April O'Neil isn't quite the classic April that I remember as a kid, so I haven't bought the new April design. But I do have Splinter here, and Splinter is pretty cool. There we go. And again, with Splinter, you can take his parts off. They were. So again, the arms come off like this. Just like that, and his legs are right under his skirt, so I think they come out. They do come out, so you can also take his legs off His tail doesn't come off, I don't think, but it is manoeuvrable. You've got this sort of plasticky skirt here, and you can kind of move his tail up and out of it, which is quite cool that you've got that extra articulation. Unfortunately, little poor Shredder here, the original Shredder figure was, well, first of all, he was purple, not this sort of brown colour, and he had a lovely cape. I don't know if it's a lovely cape or not, but it was a cape, and that was quite nice because it is part of his character, which is a little bit of a shame you don't get that, but you do get this skirt on Splinter. And of course, there's these little ratty legs in there. Just about see that. I'm going to put that one back on, unless, go on, let's try this. Let's try and put Shredder's leg onto Splinter's body. These two usually don't get along so well, especially not sharing limbs. You've got a problem there, because Splinter's legs are a lot shorter than Shredder's. So unless you want to kind of, let me see, you can't see that there, but it's like limping, hobbling Splinter. That's no good. So that's going straight off. Let's put his little, let's have a better look at his leg. You can see the fur sculpted in there, the bandages, and his little ratty, splintery feet, which actually is all rather nice. And that goes back in there. These probably not too hard to get back on. But one thing you could do, if you want to imagine that Splinter didn't quite mutate completely into a rat and was still maybe part human, then you could give him Shredder arms, which I think actually, some of these mashups might not work so well, but this one, that's pretty good. I like that one. I don't know what, let's check out what Shredder might look like with Splinter's arms. See, I thought this was also gimmicky at first, but now I'm really enjoying it. Because again, this could also work because you could imagine these are human hands, maybe, at a push. And that doesn't look so wrong, does it? And we can pop these shreddery legs back on. And the head. So that looks pretty cool. You could, if you want to, swap heads as well, which is the most drastic change you can make with these figures. Do they fit? Yep. It's quite a loose fit. I think it's probably as you can see, that's a very loose fit on there. But that's Splinter on Shredder's body, and Shredder's head on Splinter's body. That is a much better fit. So if you want a really short, half rat version of Shredder, you can do that as well. And what I really like is the ease of being able to take these on and off. It's really straightforward. But what does that mean for articulation? Well, first of all, you're all on ball joints. So let me just take all these limbs back off. And I'll talk about the articulation on these characters. Because it's going to vary depending on how you mix and match the characters. For example, Splinter's got slightly fatter arms than Shredder, so you don't get quite as much movement. And remember, if you do move it too far, they're going to pop off. But you can easily rotate. And you see, they do have a pretty sturdy grip. They're not too bad. I wouldn't say they've made a mess of this idea. It's actually done rather well. So first of all, we'll show you Splinter in a bit more detail. So here he is. It's a nice sculpt. He's got his nice little beard here. His teeth aren't painted. They're the same white as his fur. But that's okay. I mean, teeth. You could argue that maybe Splinter should have slightly more dirty teeth, but I know how much these extra paint operations might cost. But all in all, that's pretty good, I'd say. He rotates at the waist, unsuspected to me. I was quite happily surprised. I'm not sure how much this differs from the original Splinter figure. I imagine it's very similar. But you've got no articulation here, and no articulation here either. And unfortunately on my one you've got a nice little paint splodge there. I was never, after the initial line of these Turtles figures, the Turtles themselves at least, the quality in my eyes plummeted, and I've been holding off getting any more of these Turtles figures for a long time, despite wanting both Shredder and Splinter. When I saw these at their half price offer, I thought, go on then, I'll pick them up. So, yeah. And there's his skirt, his legs, and his tail. And he stands up fine as well. No worries about having a figure that doesn't stand. He's pretty good at standing. And of course you've always got the tail that can either help balance him or get in the way, but it's quite easy to pose Splinter there. Then moving on to Shredder, who will put his arms back on. And as you might see there, you have this. It's very loose. Not quite to the point where you can pull it out, but these shoulder panels are rather loose. And the head. So Shredder, there. You know, you've got the white eyes there. That's reasonably well done. He looks more menacing without pupils, of course. Looks like the Turtles don't have the pupils either. As far as the articulation of the arms go, you can get it up pretty high. Again, it doesn't really quite go, you know, it falls off a bit if you get too close to the body, so you've got to know its limits is about there. You can pull it back. But this hand is permanently in a, what do you call that? In a, I'll get you next time, Turtles type position. Whereas this is a more outstretched arm here. And you know, it's reasonably flexible until it falls off again. Just be aware of that. And he holds a sword quite comfortably in that hand. You can see he holds the shuriken quite well in that hand, but if you want the sword here, because the wrist doesn't move, he has to be holding it up like that, which just looks awkward. So this Shredder is definitely a left-handed character. So he's got his armour, reasonably well painted. It's simple. There's not a lot going on there. No paint on his back, apart from on his legs here. Which, you know, he's got nice big feet, so he does stand up very easily, although he's always in a sort of stepping forward stance, because again, no articulation in the legs. Does his torso twist like Splinter's? No, which, you know, is really disappointing. It feels like some sort of, yeah, bit of a swizz, I'm afraid, with that one. Some corners have been cut there. But his head is really good in terms of, you can look up and down quite well, you know, left and right. You can go all the way round if you want to. And there's Shredder. So, Splinter and Shredder. Now Splinter does come with a staff. A jade staff, which I have misplaced, I'm afraid. A very professional video we have for you here. But he does come with a jade staff, which is kind of translucent green colour, which is quite nice. So that's the only accessory you get with Splinter. Now you get 2 shurikens and 1 small sword. It could be a bit bigger. So here we have it. A wonderful plasticky, really plasticky smell from these guys. If you're into that, great. But yeah, I'm pointing out all the little details here. You may notice a few Okay, cheap things like this sort of mold line in there, and also you can see some sort of mold lines or some ejection points for the plastic mold in his legs. But overall, these aren't so bad. I'd be hard pressed to pay £10 for them. You know, I wouldn't have picked it up if it was any more than it was. A £5 for each for these figures is already pushing it a little, in my opinion. But then again, I'm not really an action figure collector. I just like Turtles a lot and have a soft spot for it. So I'm happy to add these to my small Turtles figure collection. Whether or not I'll pick any more up in future, I doubt it, as I've ignored the Turtles figures for a long time, despite liking some of the more the creatures, the villains. But the thing with them is, again, the paint jobs aren't very good, and they really put me off. If they were better, I would seriously consider getting those. As one last thing, you also get with each of these figures a turtle arm. Oh, fantastic. So you get an identical turtle arm with each one. So if you really wanted to, you can give your figure one really short turtle arm. Which, you know, if you're playing with these figures, if you're a kid, you're playing with these figures, you're telling a story, this is plenty of opportunity for story ideas for playing with these figures. So I actually think that's really cool for the kids to be able to do that, and they probably have a lot of fun mixing and matching these characters. Of course, unfortunately, you get the same arm with Splinter and Shredder, so there's no way of giving your figures two turtle arms, which is a bit of a shame. But you can't have everything, and for what they're worth, these two figures ain't bad at all. So that's my little review. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more toy reviews, let me know. And then the next time I pick up something that could be considered a toy, I'll feature it here on Blast Process. So thanks again for watching. Have a fantastic, wonderful time, whatever you're doing. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.